right now, Dan.
Okay, so we're on, right, Kate?
We're on.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the 12th edition of Dinner with Dan. Once again, I'm your podcast host, Dan Garris. This is November 16th, 2025, and we are once again on the historic bricks of Wroe Avenue in Dayton's premier historic district of Five Oaks. At the table tonight, we have table regulars Kate Evans, Sam Braun, Eddie Garris, and new regular Appalachian Trail conqueror Paul Duncan Robinson. Conqueror, yeah, he conquered it.
What a title.
You can look for synonyms from now on.
2,190 miles.
I know. Conqueror is not always a great thing to be.
Table,
Just reminding everybody.
Table regular Nan Whaley, who was with us last week, just got back from a week in Hawaii, and now she has to leave first thing tomorrow morning for Seattle. So,
we miss you, Nan.
So we miss you, Nan, but we know that somehow you'll put this up so everybody can get it tomorrow. Safe travels to Seattle, and we'll have you back at the table next week. Before I start tonight, before we start the podcast, I always tell the listeners that if I need to be fact-checked of anything we say, well, my second son, young Martin Garris, who is a listener, has fact-checked me.
Yeah.
He took great umbrage that I had said that Eddie was the Obama guy, when in fact he claims that he was the original Obama guy in 2008. I was originally for Edwards. Virginia was originally for Hillary. After Edwards crashed and burned, I got behind Hillary. But Marty, as only Marty can, explained to me that it was he who walked the precincts. It was he in the primary. It was he who worked at the Nutter Center when Obama had a primary campaign meeting out there. And that, after he graduated high school, he went off to Capital University, which was a very conservative school, which I didn't understand before he got there. That he ran the Obama campaign on Capital University. Although when Bob Barr, my law school buddy Bob Barr,
oh my God,
who was the Libertarian candidate for president that year, spoke at Capitol, Marty did go with me to meet up with my old law school buddy Bob Barr, who, interestingly enough, in 1980, Bob Barr and I at the Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity Convention in Little Rock, Arkansas, turned down an opportunity to have a picture taken with then Governor William Clinton. And then fast forward to 1997 or 1998, when U.S. Congressman from Atlanta, Georgia, Bob Barr, introduced the articles of impeachment against then President Clinton.
Yeah, so, how about that?
Hashtag that small world. So anyhow, Marty, I stand corrected. Eddie was indeed Obama, but you were clearly the master of Obama at 208 Wroe Avenue. And then the other thing, he took a little different, or I don't know what the right word is, but he said, Nan and Sam talked about all their time in Montana, when in fact he was the first from Wroe Avenue to be in Montana. When after graduating college in 2012, he was sent to the Bitterroot Valley in Montana to work on.
He had a real Festivus with you, didn't he?
He had some issues with
airing
the old man.
of grievances.
He was airing some grievances.
Wow.
But indeed, Marty did work the Bitterroot Valley for U.S. Senator Tester, and he won that year that Marty was out there working. But I will want to note that after Tester won and Marty had a bunch of the staff from the Bitterroot Valley area, and they were driving to, I don't know, Helena or Bozeman or wherever for the Tester party, Marty managed to crash the car and have to get it towed out. But he still got back to Dayton with it. But anyhow, so there you go, Marty. I have stand corrected.
Well, the record to show I'm smarto, quiddio, funnio the Modi. So that's a fact.
I was going to ask if there was a need to fact check the fact checker, but I think your comment, Eddie's pretty good there.
There you go. I like it. The last word.
Yeah, last word.
Okay. So,
I think we should make a note for our listeners that we may be eating the crunchiest meal we've ever eaten while doing Dinners with Dan. And we got a lot of crunching and munching, so sorry, everyone. You just have to enjoy our crunching and munching.
I'll say what we got for dinner, then I'll come back to my prepared comments.
There you go.
We've been trying to pair with either the movie or what we're talking about, and we really didn't have anything from the movie. And since we really didn't have anything from the Oregon Trail, so it was decided that Kate would put together taco salad. And she has put together a monumental taco salad with chips, lettuce, green peppers, orange peppers, diced tomatoes, avocados, onions, shredded cheese, 3 different kinds of salsa, and I know I'm missing something, sour cream, black beans, and black olives,
tomatoes.
So if you hear a lot of crunching,
there's crunching,
and food getting passed back and forth, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
so
we have about 28 dishes.
Yeah. And
on
we
the
also
table,
have Mondello beer and a bunch of different little cans of margaritas. I actually have a margarito made with tequila, blanc, and triple sec liquor. Everybody's got different flavored margaritas.
Yeah, I think yours is a classic margarita.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do a couple points of personal privilege. Today is actually November 16th, 2025. And I will remind Kate, I don't have to remind her, that on 1 year ago, on November 16th, 2024, she, along with my late wife, Virginia, Maud Platt, and Nan Whaley, table regular, as well as 12 other female family members and friends, were on Broadway for the Saturday afternoon matinee of the 2-time Tony Award-winning musical Suffs, about the American suffragette movement. It was a bucket list item for her, and despite her many health issues and with the help of many of the ladies that were with her in a wheelchair, Virginia made it to Suffs. Now, I just want to put out there, on April 4th, 2026, and in memory of Virginia, we have 94 family friends, both male and female, who are going to attend the Saturday afternoon production of Suffs at the Schuster Center in downtown Dayton. Dayton is one of the first stops in the national tour of Suffs, which is now closed on Broadway. And we do still have tickets available to join us, to join our group, and the Garris family is hosting a reception afterwards. So if any of the listeners are interested, you can contact our Ticket Czarina and Charles Watts at 937-545-7539 by December 1st. We'd like to know who wants to join our party by then. Okay, and then next Friday, this coming Friday, November 21st, 2025, will be the 30th anniversary of the signing of the Bosnian Peace Accords, ending the carnage in the Balkans. And I just want to put out there that Virginia and I had the privilege of being in the room at the Hope Hotel at Wright Pat Air Force Base when the accords were signed. And that was certainly a highlight for both of us. And then finally, as a point of personal privilege before we start talking about the movie, and then the big topic of tonight, the Oregon Trail, is tomorrow, November 17th, 32 years ago, November 17th, 1993, Virginia and I woke up to find out we had to get to the hospital really quick because young Edmund, who's a table regular, had decided to come a month early.
Oh, yeah.
So that day, the Garris family welcomed table regular Edmund Philip Platt Garris and his family. And so even though his birthday is tomorrow, Catherine has got cupcakes to celebrate. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eddie. Happy birthday points of personal privilege are over. Eddie, if you want to rebuttal on your birthday, go ahead. Okay.
I'm glad it's not a video. I'm glad we're audio only.
Yeah. I'm glad Eddie hasn't thrown his food at me.
I know. The look was enough to curdle milk,
Okay.
I think.
Tonight we are now going to talk about the fourth Best Picture Academy Award winner, and that is Cimmaron. It won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1931, as well as another 2 Oscars, one for writing adaptation and one for art direction. Cimmaron was based on a novel by Edna Ferber, and it basically follows the Oklahoma Territory into statehood from the Oklahoma Land Rush in 1889 to the end scene is in 1929. It stars Richard Dix, who was a well-known cowboy star back then, and Irene Dunn, who was a pretty popular actress. So, I'm just going to put out there, I thought it was like a 1931 version of Forrest Gump. Discuss why I eat. Everybody's eating but me, so discuss why I eat.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really perceptive way of describing lots of time jumps. So, I can see that.
And the main character got involved in a variety of activities that you would not have guessed at.
Historic moments,
historic
right?
moments. Yeah, like Forrest Gump. I mean, he had definitely itchy feet, and he wanted to be doing other things, so it wasn't surprising that he was like leaving town or whatever. But I think one scene they mentioned the Spanish-American War in 1898, and the next time we see the main character's name, I forgot. He's wearing like a uniform. We're supposed to imply that he was one of the Rough Riders, and it's not really important whether it was or wasn't. But that's a departure from being the newspaper owner or an attorney.
That's right. Like, let's remember, when you find that out, he'd been missing for 5 years. Right? Wife is at home, of course, as they always are, raising the children, running the business, cleaning the house, cooking the dinner.
Running the newspaper.
Yeah, she was doing it all at home, not knowing where this man was, and he I guess we should start with his big dream, and across the whole movie is to like own and operate, publish and edit this newspaper of the West.
Right.
And this poor woman who has to see him leave multiple times for, she never knows how long he'll be gone because, as Dan said, had wandering feet. She never takes his name off the masthead. And for years and years, she does all the work. She even turns this paper from like a dinky weekly paper to a real going concern, and turns it into a daily paper. So, but she never takes his name off the masthead. And that is one of the many points of this movie that was, made me remember it was made in 1931. And it was about a time when, the mom, her name, mom, wife, mother, whatever, she's not going to get any credit for any of this. Not even from him, really. So.
And then did she fight the Spanish?
Oh, wow.
No, she does become Congresswoman.
Yeah.
At the very end, yeah.
And at the very end, of course, spoiler alert, but the last time he disappears, we find out that he's been working in the oil fields, which again isn't like related to the other previous things. Much like Forrest Gump, he's doing all these unrelated things, and it was historic to be part of the Oklahoma oil business then. So it is, like Kate said, being like Forrest Gump and being at historic moments.
But let me say this as I put chips in my mouth.
This is a tricky dinner.
Yeah, well, let me say this about him, okay? He has his white hat on. He's got two 6-shooters. He's got the weirdest looking boots. The boots could have been worn by somebody in Wizard of Oz.
It kind of has a John Wayne strut to him.
John Wayne strut to him.
It's a good shot, as we find out.
Yeah, he's a good shot.
I'm not sure how, but
he cleans out. He's there. And for people who haven't ever seen Cimmaron or aren't going to watch it, you've probably, if you've ever watched a documentary about making of the movies, you've probably seen the beginning scene.
Yeah.
Where there's all these wagons and horses and people are stampeding. That's like, I've seen a bunch of different documentaries on making of the movies, and they always show that. So that's a very famous scene.
Yeah.
He kills the bad guy, cleans the town up, becomes the preacher, starts the church, does the paper. When the kid comes in, he kills the kid. And that's a scene. I'm a big Gunsmoke guy, but that's a scene oftentimes because he's upset that he had to kill the kid because he rode the range with the kid. He slept on the back when nobody else was here. It was just him and the kid and the Indian. And you saw that on 4 or 5 different episodes of Gunsmoke,
right?
Where Matt had to kill some old guy that he fought the Indians with, or when nobody else was in the Kansas territory. But it is kind of bizarre. My favorite.
It's a bizarre
It is
movie.
bizarre.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be a western, and it wasn't a true western in that regard.
No, it's not a true western.
No. As I was sitting here listening to us, I realized we kind of jumped in without explaining what it was at all. But the movie kind of does that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And the movie itself is kind of just like, oh my God! All of a sudden, they're first of all they're living a life of privilege in
Wichita,
Kansas. And you're introduced to the main character. Kind of, you realize right away, the man has wanderlust.
Yep.
And the grass is always greener, it seems like, for this guy. He wants to get out to open space and, make his fortune and make his name and
put himself in precarious situations. That's all part of the adventure.
It has no problem with the risk.
Mm-hmm.
However, he has a wife and a small child already at that point. And the one of the early scenes is him explaining to his family basically that he's about to leave, and his wife is like, "Not without me, you're not." And he's ready to go without her, without being able to say when he'll be back. And she has to be like, "Nuh-uh-uh, I'm going with you." And so in that big scene, you see her riding along, rattling along, in a wagon. And I know. I see your face.
I know what you're going to say.
What are you going to say next?
Paul?
No, you say it.
Did you have that moment with Cheryl on when you were leaving for the Appalachian Trail?
No, because that wasn't last minute. In the movie, he
It literally was a surprise
at
the dinner table that he's leaving now.
But you had the classic scene
and he
where
was not gone for years, and she knew where you were.
Right.
Yeah, and you had the classic scene where her mother, the wife's mother, was like, "Oh no, I don't want you to leave." I mean, that's classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though they're in Wichita, Wichita was settled, and they're going further west. I mean,
right.
Oklahoma.
Well, one of the scenes, he gets beat for the land he wants by a woman that's obviously probably a woman of the night, and you don't see her again forever until he comes back from the Spanish Civil War. And then he puts his lawyer hat on, and he ends up representing her on morals charges. And as a lawyer, I found that really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
No preparation.
No preparation. He comes in.
Frontier litigation.
Within an hour of being home.
Within an hour of being home, and against the wishes of his wife, he's in there defending a woman of the night. And he gets her acquitted.
Yes, successfully. Yeah.
That's America, man.
There you go.
He found time to do a lot of stuff. He's a lawyer. He is a cowboy. He's an expert shot. He's a
preacher.
He's a preacher. He's a rough rider.
Publisher.
I don't know how.
Publisher. How did he do all this?
Because Irene Dunn was at home. The backbone of all of it, getting no credit for anything.
At first, I was surprised they didn't ask him to be the sheriff because there's no sheriff present. There's a guy in the background wearing a badge. But then, of course, if he had agreed, then he would have been tied to the town, so it wouldn't have fit the narrative. But why not ask him to be sheriff? I mean, good
I'm
shot.
Surprised, yeah.
Everyone seemed to know him, or like him. I mean, except the bad guys.
Now, I think the thing that was most unbelievable of the movie was at the end when his wife was elected to Congress.
I do too.
In 1929.
Oddly enough, that was the most unbelievable part.
I looked that up. There had been a couple other women elected, but not from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
She would have been the third. I mean, if this is historically accurate, but it was, and I think one of the women had been elected, served one term, and then whatnot. But yeah, it seems weird.
Our table mate here, young Edmund, he took he probably did the right thing when my DVD wouldn't work because it was skipping or whatever. He found it on YouTube, put it on YouTube, charged his brother for it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Marty had to have words with you.
No, that could be.
Yeah.
And then Eddie said, "Okay, I'll be in the basement if you need me."
That was across the street.
Across the street.
Yeah, that was probably
Charging Marty for it was the best part.
Yeah. Not one of my faves, and I think we definitely hit on a lot of big themes of the recent. It was 1931, Best Picture.
Well, we also have the issue of
that's where
Native American.
So this is where I was going to go with it. It hit on a lot of big themes that at the time in 1931 weren't that long ago, right? So aftermath, it's like in the very beginning, it's kind of still the aftermath of the Civil War, right? And the vestiges of what that would have meant for a family like this. And they were clearly a family of privilege. And one of the ways we learned that is they had slaves, right? Like they had African American servants who were likely slaves.
Or had been.
Had been slaves. That's what I'm saying. They likely had been slaves before they were emancipated. And there were some extremely problematic scenes in those early moments.
Racial stereotypes and also racial slurs of Native Americans.
Yeah, but on that topic, it does address very early on how Oklahoma Osage Indians were screwed out of their oil and everything. And he comes back and is pro-Indian, and his son marries an Indian princess. So I thought that was pretty progressive.
He writes editorials in his paper.
Agreed.
Because he writes editorials, and the one line is, "Well, you won't be elected governor of Kansas or of Oklahoma if you write this about the Indians." And he writes it anyhow, and he does not.
And he didn't win.
And he didn't win, which is interesting because it wasn't until just very recently that Killers of the Flower Moon came out about how terrible the Osage Indians had been treated and how they were, stole, their oil was stole out from underneath them. Yet this movie was made in 1930, and it was addressing that issue, which, so you got to give it some props for being very progressive there and very, in the forefront there. But other than that, it was an interesting movie, and even though it wasn't a Western, it was Western themed.
Definitely.
It was definitely Western themed, especially the first half of it.
Oh, yeah.
With the gun fights and everything else.
The kid.
And it was then not until the 63rd year of the Academy that a Western won again, and that was Dances with the Wolves.
Wow.
Followed 2 years later by another Western, Unforgiven.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not been a Western since then.
Yeah.
So
one thing I wanted to add, Dan, to your comment about the Osage Indians is that in the movie, it implies that he's leaving town again because there's going to be more expansion. And I actually looked it up, and there was 5 different waves. Although when the movie starts, the 1889 land rush was a major wave, but there's 4 successive waves that all had the same theme. We're just taking over more, Indian land, breaking the treaties, etc.
yeah, because they do that second land rush.
Yeah,
the Cherokee Strip or something.
Yeah, the Cherokee Strip. Yeah.
Which that I guess you kind of said it there. That it's why I struggled with this guy as I think he was supposed to be some sort of swaggering hero, but he was pretty contradictory in the sense that like he was expressing these progressive views about the Native Americans' plight, but he was also like itching to get their land every time there was a new land rush.
Yeah, and
which was
he did that, and he's also notching a notch on his gun whenever he kills somebody.
Whenever he kills somebody, so it's like
I just felt like the movie was just jumping around between a lot of different themes, and it didn't spend a lot of time on any of them.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and so that was, and I don't think they developed it very well, and that was an issue for me. So you have like the Oklahoma land rush and statehood for Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that's a theme. The development of this town from this dusty town that has nothing up to in the final scene where there's skyscrapers and it's very, very nice. You have the kind of man who shot Liberty Valance kind of themes going on with Yancey and the outlaws that he ends up killing. You have the theme of Native American rights going on. You have an African American boy who they take with them as a servant who acts, they have acting very stereotypical for that time nature. But that's not really addressed very much at all, other than that Yancey is generally kind to him.
Yeah.
right.
You have his his wanderlust is another theme that's going on. You have the newspaper. It just felt like a lot of different things cobbled together to me that I didn't quite buy into at all.
Yeah.
Thus, Forrest Gump.
I understand.
I mean,
why
Forrest
you
did some
say that.
jumping.
Yeah.
Forrest did some jumping.
It did, but I felt that was all along the same theme of even if you're not smart, if you have a good heart, then you do good things and things will turn out. But certainly, some of it's pretty silly.
Dan, you mentioned the opening scene being iconic, where you have like the wagons, the stagecoaches, and horses just rushing from the start.
Oh yeah.
And when I was reading about it briefly, apparently by the end of that day, so they started at noon, and by the end of the day, all the plots had been claimed.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like legit that you had to be like the quickest there.
Well, that's why it's called Sooners, because people actually cheated on the time and got there first. That scene, though, that was awesome. Like, from a movie making perspective.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after that first 5 minutes, there wasn't.
I know.
I mean, it wasn't as good.
I know.
After
I would agree
after
with
that
that.
scene.
Okay. We get to talk about Forrest Gump in a couple of years.
Dan's slugging back his marg.
So when we talk about Forrest Gump, we can like refer back to Cimmaron,
refer
right?
back.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now, just for our listeners to know, the next movie in our doing all the best pictures is going to be the 1932 winner, which is Grand Hotel.
Oh, I'm very excited about this
And
one.
just for the people at the table, I do have a DVD copy of that.
Have you tested it?
I haven't tested it yet, but if you guys want to do another movie night, let me know. And that's an interesting movie. I've been reading about it in some of these old movie magazines that I'm now making a new collection of, much to my roommate Eddie's dad don't start another collection. It stars Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Joan Crawford, Lyle Barrymore, Wallace Berry, and I mean what I'm reading in the magazines is this was just a movie made to highlight the careers of all these famous people. So I'm really interested in it. It's called Grand Hotel. So that's the next movie that we'll be watching. But now, okay. Everybody's been waiting for this for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's true.
This is the main part of this tonight. I've talked to Lillian about it, and I have practiced this. This may be why my voice is going. I did try to figure out how we could do an AI voice of Peter Coyote.
Oh, that would be
Marty
creepy.
assured me that we would be sued by Ken Burns.
Yeah, that's true.
And, tonight is the beginning of the
I'm so
American
excited.
Revolution on PBS. Everybody watch that.
That is what I'm going to be doing when I leave the podcast.
Then Marty suggested that we do a BBC voice. And I'm like, BBC? That's British. I don't want to. This is about going to Oregon. This isn't about, So anyhow,
a BBC voice would be
Lillian,
fun. I'd be okay.
my daughter Lillian, has kept a journal. And I have gone through the journal, and I have decided that it's worth sharing.
Yes.
So we've got Eddie here to fact check everything that's said. Paul, who spent time on a trail, too. And other people can weigh in because
trail
they
enthusiasts.
know the people. So without further ado, I'm going to set the stage. The stage was Virginia loved this 2017 Buick. It was always too big for me. I had to jump to get into it. God knows how she was able to drive it because she couldn't see in one eye. I had trouble driving it. And it was one of her wishes that when she was gone that Lily could take it back to Portland because Lily has the 2 kids and would need it. And so this summer, starting on September 1st, 2025, begins the journey of Lillian Garris and Edmund Garris from Dayton, Ohio to Portland, Oregon via the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
It is day 1, September 1st, 2025. Dayton, Ohio to Kansas City, Missouri. States traveled: Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and just a little bit of Tennessee if you ask Eddie. But we did not even accidentally go through Tennessee. Total, and Eddie just smiled. Total miles traveled 608.3 miles. 12:20 Eastern Daylight Time. Departed Wroe Avenue, Lillian driving. Provisions include, and this is what I wanted for dinner tonight. This is what I wanted for dinner tonight. 5 boxes of assorted granola bars, 5 bags of assorted chips. Thanks Kroger, buy 2 get 3 free deals. 2 family-sized bags of M&Ms.
Oh yes.
1 bag of Kirkland mixed nuts. 1 bag dried tropical fruit from Salem, Oregon. 1 bag pretzel rods. 1 package elf fudge cookies. 7 bags of salmon jerky, compliments of me, and Sea Bear salmon from Washington's the best jerky ever. 4 pouches of salmon chowder, also from there. Water bottles, 5 apples, and 2 limes.
Wow.
Why they were taking limes, I don't know.
Do you think they would be
Maybe
a sponsor
they
of
were
the
afraid of getting
podcast?
screwed. Cargo includes 95% more 2002 Wroe Avenue treasures than 4044, which is Lillian's address, can accommodate, including a few boxes Lillian didn't even open but have her name on them, so it's probably her stuff. Jake is going to be horrified and may turn Lillian away at the door, but that's a Thursday night problem. Final hugs are given and commemorative pictures are taken. Travelers load into the Buick, wave goodbye, and honk. Then turn onto Homewood and promptly park. Spend 10 minutes figuring out how to set the trip odometer.
Nice.
Odometer zeroed out and AI-generated brother-sister Oregon road trail trip playlist started.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, Lillian had purchased shirts, right, Eddie?
I thought those were given. I don't know where they
Well,
came
no, Lily had got them off the internet.
Okay.
And for those of you who remember that video game Oregon Trail, it's black. It's green things on a black screen, and it's "You died of dysentery."
Yes.
And the shirt, they took pictures of the shirt, and it says, "Loser, get in the wagon. We're going to Oregon."
Nice.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Eddie.
I do not recall.
Okay.
It was early.
Taking the 5th already.
That's right.
13:10 Eastern Daylight Time. AI-generated brother-sister road trip playlist finished. It is clear that AI has no concept of how long it takes to drive on the road from Dayton, Ohio to Portland, Oregon. Eddie takes on DJ role and adds 3+ hours additional music content to the playlist, and travelers enjoy the Indiana scenery while listening to an excellent selection of songs. Okay. I wish Peter Coyote was doing this.
This is
You're
long.
doing well.
This is very long. I'm very impressed already.
Huron, Illinois. Travelers see a sign for Mile High Pie and opt to check it out. Opportunity to also get gas taken. Eddie checks the menu while Lillian fills the tank and cleans the windshield. Eddie provides convincing arguments to not stop here for dinner. Eddie buys beef stick, tea, and Powerball tickets at the gas station, then swaps in to drive and we press on. Lillian, serving as navigator, directs Eddie to take 270 around St. Louis, then to get back on 70 West. Lillian turns off navigation to research Kansas City hotel accommodation. Eddie decides to stay on 270. Upon entering the hotel address and restarting navigation, it is discovered that travelers are going the wrong way.
Oh gosh.
Course reversion executed. Travelers navigate back to 70 West. All things back on track, having traveled not that many miles out of the way. 17:05 Central Daylight Time. After many suggestions, each met with an emphatic "whatever you want," Lillian directs Eddie to stop at a Wendy's for dinner. And I already know this. Eddie doesn't like Wendy's. Okay, I mean, I've known that for a while. Over nuggets and fries, dinner conversation led by Eddie. The secret to good ketchup is adding a shit ton of black pepper per the culinary genius of a long-timer at Weights and Measures. And the reason he avoids...
Is that right?
Charlie Richmond.
Wow.
Yep.
Is that really the secret?
Try it.
Okay.
There
I
you
guess
go.
I'll have to.
That's a tip for all our listeners. And the reasons he avoids Wendy's are: 1, it supports Trump. 2, it really upsets his stomach. It ends with the question, will we awake tomorrow with dysentery?
Oh.
While getting into the car, Eddie is shocked, absolutely shocked, that we still have 3.5 hours to go. I swear I thought we were there. Eddie continues as driver. 20:45 Central Daylight Time. 608 miles down, we pull into a Drury Inn. Drury, D-R-U-R-Y, Inn. Lillian talks to the Portland peeps while Eddie showers. Lillian then takes a very long shower and emerges to find Eddie battling a significant nosebleed
Oh no.
with gravity alone. Note, remember to always pull the tissue box out of the bathroom. Nosebleed stopped after a long struggle, and the travelers bed down for the night. Day 2, September 2nd, 2025. Kansas City, Missouri to Wyoming, Cheyenne.
Wow.
States travel,
Nice.
Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Wyoming. And this is where it really gets good. 7:45. Eddie slept terribly last night, probably the dysentery. Lillian was awakened at 3 a.m. because of a previous guest set the in-room alarm clock for that ungodly hour. Lillian forgot to turn that off for the next occupant. Hashtag early rising. Breakfast taken at the hotel. 100% high fructose corn syrup juice. And pretty tasty hot options. Sausage, biscuits, and gravy. And that's one of the things I said we should have for dinner tonight. Sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Eggs, pancakes, and waffles. Filled up on complimentary decaf coffee. Despite being tired, Eddie drives. Lillian wants to do this trip right with stops of a historical importance, including a visit to the official start of the Oregon Trail, Independence Courthouse Square, Independence, Missouri. En route to the marker, the travelers make the day's first stop for gas. Eddie gets the Celsius.
No.
Is that an energy drink? Okay. And Lillian fills the tank and cleans the windshield. 0840-ish Central Daylight Time. Independence Courthouse Square and the historic Truman Courthouse. The start of the Oregon, Santa Fe, and California trails. The courthouse is buzzing with citizens taking care of varied matters. Markers found for Oregon and Santa Fe trails, but nothing found for the California Trail. The travelers head inside the Harry S. Truman Courthouse to ask if there is even a nice marker for the California Trail, and the receptionist looks at Lillian like she was the first person to inform her that she does in fact work at a point of major historic importance.
Amazing.
That is widely advertised by both federal and state agencies.
Amazing.
The receptionist directs Lillian to the law enforcement officer to her left, who also has no idea about the historic nature of this building. The markers outside are why someone would even pose the question. He at least directs the travelers to the Independence Visitor Center, but that doesn't open for another hour, and the Harry S. Truman Visitor Center, which doesn't open until the following day. Good enough pictures taken with a metal rod sign affixed to a nearby light pole advertising this area as the start of the California Trail. Also did not come across the promised real Oregon Trail wagon ruts, and with no faith that the local public servants would have any insight as to their whereabouts, our travelers resumed their westward journey. Had good fortune to drive past the Harry and Bess Truman house, very pretty exterior, but also closed. Road travel is not particularly noteworthy, but the beautiful swaths of sunflowers among the highway in Missouri greatly appreciated. However, upon crossing into Nebraska, the flowers turn to corn, which is useful in its own right, but nowhere near as visually pleasing as the sunflowers. Now this gets really good. I expect Eddie to weigh in on this. 11:40 Central Daylight Time. Eddie gets snake bit by Officer Gonzalez of the Nebraska State Highway Patrol for going 74 in a 55-mile.
It was a speed trap.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
a speed trap.
Was it interstate or?
It was interstate, but yeah. It was a speed
473 on State Route 2 in Otoe County. The pioneers never had to put up with this shit. Despite both sporting luxurious mustaches, the officer does not let the travelers go with a warning. But Eddie suspects he was going faster than 74, so we may have that going for us.
And we didn't show insurance.
Yeah, well, that's coming up. It is discovered that the 4 proofs of insurance in the glove box are expired.
Awesome.
And the Buick is not showing up in Lillian's insurance app. Due to the frantic searching for proof of insurance, no photo taken on the side of State Route 2. The act of searching for insurance was enough for Officer Gonzalez, who hands over the citation and sends the travelers on their way. $174 citation.
Wow.
And 100 feet later, we were back in the 70-mile-an-hour zone. So they got him with just less than 100 feet to go to the 70 mile.
You're right. That's a speed trap.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Eddie.
Full speeding ticket.
Wow.
Okay. Eddie finds. Here we go. Let me make sure I'm on this right. Yep. Okay. Eddie finds a wagon trail buddy in a Toyota minivan with Ohio plates. We stay behind them until getting off of I-80 for gas. At the gas station, Eddie declares that Nebraska sucks and he is ready to get the fuck out of this state. Lillian agrees. Nebraska is tolerable only when traveling 600 miles per hour at 40,000 feet. And even so, we could happily do without it. Back in the car, there is a moment of panic when the engine light illuminates.
Oh no.
Has our ox gone lame? Lillian resets the gas cap, and that seems to cure the issue.
Good. Oh,
Crisis
good
averted.
idea.
The travelers back buckle up, and Lillian breaks the news to Eddie. Unfortunately, we have 5 more hours in Nebraska.
Oh, good grief.
13:40 Central Daylight Time. Lillian takes the wheel and also finds value in a wagon train buddy and switches off the wagon train leadership role with a Nebraska-plated Jeep until North Platte, Nebraska. Google Maps lead us off the beaten path to the Golden Spike Tower, and we marvel at the 9 miles worth of rail yard, the largest in the world, from both the 7th floor open-air observation deck and the 8th floor enclosed deck with 360 views. Wow. Not much train action out in the yard today, but the displays are very informative. Topics include the orphan train, World War II, and how a rail yard works. While on the 7th floor, Lillian asked a nice lady to take the Club Garris t-shirt picture. Turns out they are from the Dalles, Oregon, are riding Amtrak as vacation, and they have a daughter in Portland who lives in the neighborhood adjacent to Lily's.
Nice.
Wow.
It was meant to
Hashtag
be.
small world. 1650 Central Daylight Time. Travelers get back in the car and press on to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Travel is largely uneventful other than the inability to connect phones to the Buick stereo system, so the radio is listened to. In a moment of youthful ignorance, Eddie deems Collective Soul Shine as dumb Jesus music.
Oh, no.
It just said, "Heaven, let your light shine down." I heard it. And attempts to change the station, which would certainly land us either on a country or Christian music station. Lillian explains that Collective Soul is in fact a rock band, despite including Heaven and Shining Light in their lyrics.
True.
Eddie is not convinced, but returns to the original station, which soon switches to a more familiar classic rock. Lillian chalks this up to the fact that Eddie wasn't even born when this song came out.
I was going to say, it was pre-Eddie, I'm sure.
Then feels even older when Eddie remembers none of the Dayton radio stations from her youth. Hashtag geriatric millennial.
I know.
A further
And they're back.
Yeah.
Z93's back, Lily.
There you go.
Just so you know. It's back.
A further 5 hours of cruising Nebraska radio stations makes it abundantly clear that the commercials and opinions expressed win Nebraska no points and is welcome to leave the Union.
Ouch.
Wow.
Kind of tough being right
I hope
in the
my
middle of
Nebraska
that.
friends don't listen to this broadcast.
Do you have a lot of friends in Nebraska?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, boy.
I have friends everywhere.
I know.
That's a line from Andor, Star
There
Wars.
you
go.
I have friends everywhere.
We're coast to coast here.
Yeah.
There you go.
1835 Mountain Daylight Time. Arrive at Days Inn, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Highly reviewed online.
Wow.
Lillian finds this place a total dump.
Yeah, I was going to say Days Inn. Wow.
Old and
Yikes.
run down, and it has that 50 years of indoor smoking stink about it.
No.
Beds are clean though, so the travelers stay. When presented with area dinner options, Eddie suggests finding prostitutes.
Okay, well,
Do they have good recommendations
Well, that took a turn.
from the local Yelp? Or?
That's why I got to read this whole thing.
I know.
Eddie suggests finding prostitutes. Quote, isn't that what they do in the Wild West? Interested in getting a feel
Yeah,
for
that's
Cheyenne
fair.
and the prostitute situation, we drive 1.3 miles to the Rail Spur Restaurant. Again, a highly related local establishment. En route, Lillian notes that this place is rough based on visual assessment of multiple groups of biker gangs, outside bars, and general MAGA vibes. Finding prostitutes abandoned for safety and for so many other reasons.
What's the going rate for asking for advice?
From a prostitute?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
restaurant
Yeah,
recommendations.
you better hope they're not a
I
cop.
mean,
Yeah.
Rail Spur, listen to this. Rail Spur turns out not to be the smoothest operation. The hostess didn't show up for work, and the wait staff was unable to figure out how to promptly greet or seat people in the mostly empty building.
Yeah.
Improvements noted in waiting tasks and the food and drinks were delish. Lillian had a Birria tacos,
Yeah, nice.
and Eddie had bison lettuce wraps.
Oh wow.
Hashtag you killed a buffalo.
Whoa.
we had bison in Montana and Wyoming,
Okay.
and elk. It was
There
good.
you go.
And up. 1910 Mountain Daylight Time. Lillian stops for gas on the way back to the hotel to facilitate a speedy departure in the morning. Cheyenne may be to Lillian as Nebraska is to Eddie. Back at the hotel, Eddie checks in with Portland. It is clear Jake's nerves are frayed. Jake goes on a 10-minute rant about how much crap is in the house, and it's always in the way, and every little thing always turns into a huge disaster, etc., etc. Jake fails to understand that he can also put things away,
Oh.
and then they wouldn't cause him so much strife.
Well done, Ed.
Two things are
Well
clear
done.
to Lillian.
Well done, Lily.
She is really the only one who cleans up the house,
Yeah.
and Jake is going to
I
lose
knew
his.
it.
And Jake is going to lose his shit when he peeks inside the Buick.
Yeah, more stuff.
Obviously, Lillian again neglects to mention the Buick load of 232 treasures heading back to Portland. Showers taken, and the travelers turn in by 2200 hours Mountain Daylight Time, with plans to get an early start and get the hell out of Cheyenne tomorrow. Day 3, September 3rd, 2025. Cheyenne, Wyoming to Twin Falls, Idaho. States traveled: Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho. Total miles traveled 2,070 miles. But you walked more than that, Paul.
That's a lot of miles.
0719 Mountain Daylight Time. Depart the ramshackle ashtray that is the Days in Cherokee after morning showers and forcing down some of the hot breakfast, but not any milk, which has expired 8 days prior.
Oh no.
One brief gas
terrible.
station stop made for Celsius trail provisions. Lillian at the wheel and Eddie manning the radio, as we still cannot figure out why the iPhones are not connecting to the Buick. Hashtag Pioneer Problems. Wyoming manages to claw back a few good grace points with their impressive windmills, but it is tempered by local radio personalities' obsessive hatred of men in dresses, vaccine pusher Bill Gates, and idiot environmentalists.
Oh boy.
Not much happens in Wyoming, but we do pass 2 wind turbine blades on flatbeds. We cross over the Continental Divide, and Eddie opens a bag of salmon jerky and looks up state facts to share. One fact being that Wyoming is the least populated state in honor of snapper. The conversation revolves around the nonsense that gives these handful of transphobic MAGA nut jobs an outsized say in the country. With no need to stop for gas and all Oregon Trail points of interest too far off the interstate, Lillian drives on to Utah. 12:50 Mountain Daylight Time, Morgan, Utah.
Bound to get better.
Down to the last few gallons of gas and a desire to see the Great Salt Lake, but not be stranded here. Lillian pulls off to refuel. As always, Lillian cleans the windshield. Vastly fewer bug guts present. Nebraska's bug death count has been the highest by far. Quick restroom break for both travelers, and Eddie switches into drive. 13:45 Mountain Daylight Time. Lillian navigates the travelers to Antelope Island State Park for communing with the largest saline lake in the Western Hemisphere. While driving down the Davis County Causeway, Eddie looks out the window at the numerous migratory birds and says, "Look at the flamingos out there." Lillian again breaks the harsh reality that flamingos never live nor migrate through Utah, and the very small white shoreline birds are probably kildares or curlews.
Node.
Eddie was trying very hard not to laugh through all of that.
In true pioneer spirit, the travelers park the Buick and embark on a hike. The weather is very hot and very dry. Lillian wonders if they have enough potable water to be out in the elements. Undeterred, sunscreen is applied, and Eddie heads in the direction where he assumes the trailhead lies. Lillian selects the Lady Finger Point Trail, a family-friendly 0.25-mile hike that also happens to be the first available trail. The brine flies are thick, seriously thick.
No,
on the
those
island.
won't. Oh.
Let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, thick, seriously thick on the island. Thankfully, they don't bite. While the hike is short, you must constantly scramble up and down rocks and boulders, and there are very few stretches where a trail could be considered to exist. However, the terrain does allow for great lizard spotting. A nice man snaps our Club Garris t-shirt picture atop one rocky outcropping with the Great Salt Lake in the background. Eddie is determined to touch the water. However, there is no official trail to the shore. Much scrambling is done, avoiding broken ankles, large spiders, and probably snakes. Due to ongoing water diversion for humans, drought, and increasingly hot temperatures, the lake has receded a great deal. The marina has been dry for years, and there is a lot of dead algae on the shore. Eddie approaches the water and quickly discovers that the shore and water's edge are absolutely teeming with billions of brine flies.
Yeah.
That's not ground, that's flies. As you move your feet, the flies scatter a few inches up and up and a foot over you, then land. You can hear them. It's pretty unnerving.
Looks like carpet moving.
Yeah.
A long-time listener, Mike Brill, I was recently out there and said it was stinky
Yeah.
as well. Was it really smelling?
Yes,
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah.
However, Eddie is not deterred and presses on to the water. Breaking through the flies and water surface with his shoed foot, he sticks his hand in it. It's slimy and gross, he says. Lillian declines to touch the water and suggests they return to the car. These 45 minutes in the element have resulted in quite a thirst. There isn't really a trail, so our travelers blaze their own. Looking up, Lillian spots a group of bison. Yes, real bison.
Wow.
They are very far away, no danger is imminent, but the pioneer spirit abounds. A quick stop at the temporary visitors center shop, a $90 shopping spree, and 2 schmoosed pennies later. Are you elongating pennies?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did that the spike thing too.
Yeah. Eddie drives the travelers off Antelope Island and toward Twin Falls, Idaho. Jake receives an automatic text alert about the visitor center shopping spree.
Yeah.
Fraud alert.
Fraud alert.
Unable to find the travelers via Find My, he texts Lillian to inquire about her current location. Lillian openly admits that she picked up a few things on Antelope Island, but provides no further details on the contents of the Buick. 14:41 Mountain Daylight Time. Back in the Buick, Lily plugs in her iPhone just to check, and miraculously it connects.
Oh, wow.
No further inquiries or investigations done, and music without social commentary is enjoyed.
No, we had to restart the phones.
Okay.
That was the trick.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Always reboot.
Yeah.
There was like an update that prevented it.
Eddie notes his ears are popping a lot through Idaho. This isn't the pretty part of Idaho, so nothing of note is seen as the drive continues. We cross into Idaho and head toward Shoshone Falls, the Niagara of the West. Shoshone Falls is on the Snake River, and that thing comes out of nowhere. Out your window is nothing but the flat expanse of Idaho. Then boom, you cross a bridge over the Snake River Canyon, and the river is 500 feet below you, and the canyon walls are striking. It's quite a beautiful sight indeed. Would you agree with that, Eddie?
You drive over it.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't, because I have that xenophobia. I'd go off the side.
You'd try to go in.
So I'll have to see that on a travelogue documentary.
That's right.
The route to the falls goes through farmland, and one would think it would be better marked. The only sign we saw for this natural wonder is a big old painted rock with Shoshone Falls and a directional arrow planted in the corner of someone's front yard. As it was oriented so only the traffic traveling in the opposite direction we're going could see it. Excitement builds as this might be an impressive hidden treasure. Unsurprisingly, in keeping with water's fate in the arid West, by late summer, the climate and human water demands of this region have depleted the water flow to a very minimal trickle at about 3 or 4 spots. So the falls are not very Niagara-like at all in early September. But the rim itself is higher, 212 feet, than Niagara Falls, and 1,000 foot wide. Impressive, even when mostly dry, because of a 2024 family vacation that included a morning floating the lazy river, followed by an afternoon of thrill rides at Silverwood Amusement Park. The Kessler kids love Idaho. Maybe a visit to this part of Idaho will act as a counterbalance, so they stop requesting Idaho trips. Lillian internally strategizes a way to get more family votes for Hawaiian vacation, while taking in the impressive scale of the falls and River Canyon, as well as the presence of the diversion dam and power plant. The travelers poke around here, take the Club Garris shirt photo, read some informative signs, then head into Twin Falls for dinner. Eddie once again selects the location, and it's another home run. Milner's Gate is a local brewery with very tasty beers and scrumptious entrees. Fun fact, Milner financed the dam and the complex system of irrigation canals and gates that turned the high and dry desert that is Twin Falls into one of the greatest agricultural areas of the Northwest. At its completion in 1905, the Milner Dam and Twin Falls Canal System was considered worldwide as one of the greatest agricultural area engineering marvels of the age. The travelers are exhausted from the trail but perk up with a tasty substance and decide to press on to Boise, putting them 2 hours closer to their final destination. While overall this was an excellent idea, it did necessitate skipping a stop at Three Island Crossing, where our travelers could have forged the river just as their pioneering predecessors did, and finally seen real Oregon Trail wagon ruts. Unfortunately, Lillian did not realize this would be the case until Eddie flew by the highway sign around 2015 Mountain Daylight Time. Too late for even a cursory drive, though, as our travelers were exhausted from a long day on the trail and 2 hot, dry, and sunny stops. While on this leg of the journey, Jake calls Lillian and asks how to wash sheets. Another example of the integral nature of Lillian's role within the family.
Whoa. I like how this is inadvertently tying back to Cimmaron. Yancey's stuck at home for once, and his wife.
He's not doing well.
He's not doing well. Yancey would not have survived.
Man, this is going to be a family smackdown.
Yeah, Yancey would not have survived
Lillian,
at home.
I will warn you
without an iPhone.
Not to let Jake listen to this one. Okay. 21:35 Mountain Daylight Time. The travelers arrive at their best overnight accommodations, the Holiday Inn Express in Meridian, Idaho. Eddie declares that he hates driving in big cities, especially on the highway. He is very relieved to park and to get out of the Buick. Travelers check in, showers are taken, and jammies are donned. With God as a witness, Lillian is determined to see wagon wheel ruts and decides that a stop will be made in Baker City, Oregon, to do just that. Noting that the hour will be gained, no alarm is set, as the center does not open until 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So earliest Boise departure time is approximately 0900 Mountain Daylight Time. Day 4, September 4th, 2025. Boise, Idaho to Portland, Oregon. To Oregon City, Oregon, back to Portland, Oregon. States traveled, Idaho and Oregon. Total trail miles traveled, 2,552 miles, 52.6 miles. 800 Mountain Daylight Time. After a restorative sleep in comfortable accommodations, the travelers awake and head down to the complimentary hot breakfast. Eddie readily embraces the leisurely pace of the day and isn't ready to go until about 9:30 Mountain Daylight Time. The day starts off great with 2 Alaska plates seen in the hotel parking lot. With Eddie behind the wheel, the Buick
and there was a Jesus thing going on there too at the hotel.
It's like church service.
No, like a Jesus meeting or like a Jesus.
A revival.
Yeah, well, like it was like a bunch of people reading Bibles. Maybe that was at one of the hotels. Was that one of the
was
hotels.
Collective Soul there?
That might have been the False Hotel. I can't remember.
Okay, Eddie declares that he... Okay, the day starts off great with 2 Alaska license plates seen in the hotel parking lot. With Eddie behind the wheel, the Buick is filled up and the windshield clean. Yesterday's bug guts certainly gave Nebraska a run for its money. Powerball tickets purchased at the exorbitant price of $3 each, but $3 won't even register once we win the whole thing. 09:45 Mountain Daylight Time. With Eddie behind the wheel, the travelers are back on the trail westward, bound for the final leg of the trip, Oregon or bust, in short order. The travelers leave Idaho and cross into Oregon. The high desert vibes continue, and a lovely stretch of highway adjacent to the Snake River is traveled. Lillian muses about the life of the pioneer, a harrowing 6-month journey across rugged landscape, river crossings, weather, provisions, death, and assorted hardships, including snake bites and dysentery. Cruise control set at 84 miles per hour.
Whoa!
AC is kicked up another notch and a few granola bars consumed. While there is much to be disappointed about in the current time, modes of travel have come a long way. Hell-bent on seeing honest-to-God Oregon Trail wagon ruts, Lillian navigates the travelers to the National Historic Oregon Trail Interpretive Center in Baker City, Oregon. Travelers arrive at approximately 10:35 Pacific Daylight Time. Of course, Club Garris shirts are donned, and just about every staff member asks about their significance. They are delighted by the mythology of the shirts, and the center is an excellent stop for anyone interested in the trail and the pioneers who immigrated west. Information abounds and the displays are excellent. Eddie tries his hand at packing a prairie schooner, wisely taking the gunpowder, medicine, and hardtack, and leaving the family heirlooms, chairs, and chests of fine clothes. Lillian ponders her own packing of the Buick. Perhaps should have left a few books and taken the family heirloom. Much is learned that 1 in 10 pioneers who attempted it died on the trail, and that a lazy person should never think of going to Oregon. Lillian praises the center, and Eddie points out that the tickets are good for 2 days, so she and Jake could come back tomorrow. Lillian seriously considers it, but the math doesn't pencil out. The wagon ruts are technically visible from the glass wall at the back of the center as a faint line in the landscape, but that's not good enough for Lillian. You can see the ruts up close either by taking the 1 mile out and 1 mile back trail or driving back toward Baker City to the marked turnout and walking 40 feet. Option 2 is selected. Pennies are smooshed. Eddie buys a very nice hoodie, and Lillian selects a book for Juniper, though she knows it will be the least tolerated souvenir she presents. However, the very friendly cashier says she too has an 8-year-old daughter named Jane, who is a reluctant reader, and loved the story so much she finished reading it by herself and asked for more books from the series. Lillian has very high hopes that this magic will be repeated with Junie. The travelers say goodbye and thank the cashier for her picture-taking assistance and depart the center. 12:18 Pacific Daylight Time. Lillian switches into drive, and Eddie munches on the trail provisions purchased at the gift shop. The jerky is pretty good, but the cheese was gross. Hashtag Pioneer Diet. The wagon rut's turnout is reached, and the travelers venture out to walk where their predecessors walked. The wagon ruts are not parallel wheel tracks like a motor vehicle leaves, but rather a wide depression made by wagon wheels and the trampling hooves of the animals pulling them. The rut isn't clearly marked, but is determined that the area with high sagebrush and shrubs on the outside and a mix of bare dirt and short vegetation between is the Oregon Trail. Pictures are taken, and Lily communes with the trail. She now might be really into this whole Oregon Trail business. Taking a moment to touch the trail and ponder the resolve of women, men, and children who traveled it 180 years ago. Silent, she notes that this communing experience is far superior to the whole touching the Great Salt Lake adventure. 12:34 Pacific Daylight Time. Commuting done, the travelers return to the luxury of the Buick, crank up the AC and iPhone jams, which are now working again, and head back to I-80, where the speed limit is 70. Lillian is thankful that remaining travel time is approximately 5.5 hours rather than 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie snoozes like either 10, 15 minutes tops or more like 45, depending on who you ask. While Lillian drives.
10 minutes.
During Eddie's nap, Jake calls Lillian, wondering if she could pick the kids up later, as he is headed to urgent care for sudden prolonged hearing loss in his left ear, and he's not sure how long that's going to take. Unlikely to make it to Portland before...
What?
I know.
No.
It's
That's
Yancey.
psychosomatic.
Yancey all over again.
What the... What?
He's got a...
Are you kidding me?
I'm just reading it.
He's heading to the
Bunch of
land
bullshit.
rush.
I'm just Peter Coyote. Don't shoot me. Okay. Unlikely to make it to Portland before 17:30 Pacific Daylight Time, when daycare and school call the police to report remaining children as abandoned. A plan is made to check in around 15:30 Pacific Daylight Time to determine if emergency contact should be called to collect the children. An optional stop at Pendleton is skipped, as it is clear Lillian is needed at home. Out of her family, she thinks she and Shaq if he can avoid getting kicked by a mule or trampled by the oxen, have the best shot of actually making it to the Willamette Valley had they been 1845 pioneers.
Yeah.
Both travelers are awake for the crossing of the 45th parallel north, the halfway point between the North Pole and the equator. Noting temperatures in the upper 90s, Lillian astutely says that it feels a whole lot more like the equator out there. Thinking back on the trip and all the historic sights they have seen, Lillian wonders aloud if there is a marker at the end of the trail in Oregon City. Eddie accepts the challenge and Googles it. Turns out 10 miles down the road from Portland, there is an entire end of the Oregon Trail historic site in Center. Lillian decides that they didn't come this far to not get a picture at the end of the trail.
Yeah, no kidding.
Noting that the center will be closed by the time they get there, Eddie calls and verifies that there is a marker dedicated by Congress outside in the garden that is open to the public 24/7. Eddie is amenable to this final stop on their epic trip. Feeling the urge to get home, Lillian presses on. As the resident Oregonian in the party, she regales Eddie with Oregon information while traveling west on I-84. Though it is a bit hazy out, it is very much fire season, and the in-car thermometer reports temperatures in excess of 100 degrees.
Wow.
Lillian calls out points of interest including the changing landscape and vegetation, the Columbia River, which doesn't impress Eddie much. To his credit, he just did see nearly 2,500 miles of this country over 4 days. The John Day, the Dalles, and the Bonneville Dams. 3 and 5 bridges crossing the Columbia River that Lillian thought could be the Bridge of the Gods. The scenic Columbia River Gorge. Kite surfers in the Hood River. Fire damage from the 2017 fire started by dumb kids with fireworks. And Molamont Falls. 16:36 Pacific Daylight Time. Getting ever closer to Portland, Lily notes the fuel level. The Buick claims she could get another 70 miles before needing gas. But Lillian thinks it's wise not to press their luck, especially since they're entering Portland during the interminable after-work congestion. One final rolling stop is made in Troutdale, Oregon, 20 miles outside of Portland. This turns out to be a good call as both travelers needed a restroom break and rush hour prolonged the trip. While sitting in traffic, Lillian decides that they really didn't need to go directly to the end of the trail center. It is already closed and they should divert course to Southeast 48 Avenue and have dinner with Jake and the kids. The final picture can be taken as long as there is light. 17:22 Pacific Daylight Time. Lillian pulls the Buick into the driveway at 4404 Southeast 48th Avenue, Portland, Oregon. No one is home. Eddie starts to unload the Buick, but Lillian says, "Don't bother. There is really nowhere to put any of the treasure."
Gotta stay in the car for a while.
Minutes later, Lillian is reunited with her Portland-based family. Shaq is happiest by far to see her. Within 30 seconds, Junie asks for her souvenirs, and Jake looks in the Buick and asks just exactly are the plans worth everything to go inside. Lillian suggests that the Buick can serve as sort of a mobile storage unit until a more permanent location for the treasures is found. It's good to be home. Everyone heads to the Double Mountain Brewery, where pizzas are ordered and the travelers are met with minimal interest about their epic journey. The pizza, however, is very tasty. A quick return to Southeast 48th Avenue for a tripod, and the travelers are back on the road heading to Oregon City. 19:22 Pacific Daylight Time. The end of the Oregon Trail historic site is reached in about 15 minutes, and Lillian can't believe she never knew about this place. Nearly 20 years here, and not a peep from anyone about it. Eddie leads the party on a search for the marker, and Lillian notes locations where she wants pictures. Finally, the travelers find the marker and get final pictures to memorialize their time, start to finish, on the Oregon Trail. Lillian's camera informs her that it is out of storage and declines to take further pictures. So the travelers get back in the Buick and head home to get some much-deserved sleep. It is dark when they get back to Southeast 48th Avenue, but Lillian demands one last picture of the travelers and their trusty Buick. Dozens of pictures where Eddie's eyes were closed are deleted, and the last picture is snapped. At 20:25 Pacific Daylight Time, the Great Oregon Trail road trip is concluded. Quote, "The cowards never started, and the weak died along the way. Some pioneer a long time ago." Standard nighttime routines are completed, and the travelers lay their weary heads on soft pillows. They then awake at 0400 Pacific Daylight Time to get Eddie to the Portland airport so he can start the go-back portion of his adventure. And thus concludes the Great Oregon Trail logs of Lillian R. Garris.
What a wedding.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Well done, Lily.
Lily, you
Well
painted
done.
a great picture with those words, and I'm really impressed by the use of the 24-hour clock.
Now,
Yeah.
since music played a big role of this,
Yeah.
the thing that she sent me has bonus content. It's like if you get a DVD
Oh,
of
nice.
a movie,
Oh,
and
it's
it's
like
got
a
an
whole
interview with the
secret
director
album.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is the bonus content, okay? The Brother-Sister Oregon Trail road trip playlist. An epic playlist for a brother-sister road trip on the Oregon Trail requires a mix of songs that evoke the spirit of adventure, the camaraderie of family, and the inevitable hardships and triumphs of the journey. Here is a curated list that moves from the hopeful start to the long winding road and finally the arrival at a destination. Did you come up with one for you, Paul?
No, now I feel inadequate.
Now, there you go. You can go back and figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. We start with the departure, hope, and excitement. This is the beginning of the journey full of optimism and the promise of a new life. Wagon Wheel, Old Crow Medicine Show, a modern classic that feels like a timeless folk song,
Oh, wow.
perfect for the open road. On the Road Again, Willie Nelson, the ultimate
Yeah.
road trip anthem.
Nice.
It perfectly captures the excitement of hitting the highway. Born to be Wild, Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of the rebellious, free-spirited energy going as you leave civilization behind. I've Been Everywhere, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
A fast-paced, high-energy song that's a great sing-along for the start of an epic trip. Take It Easy, Eagles. A laid-back classic that sets a smooth, cruising tone for the initial leg of the journey. The Trail, hardship and perseverance. The honeymoon phase is over, and the realities of the journey set in. These songs are for the long, dusty stretches and the moments of struggle. The Oregon Trail, Woody Guthrie, a must-have for this playlist. This song, written by the legendary folk singer, is a direct and poignant narrative of the struggles and hopes of the family on the trail. The Wayfaring Stranger, Johnny Cash, or a classic folk artist like Burl Ives, a traditional folk song about a soul on a difficult journey through life. Its melodic tone perfectly suits the hardships of the trail. The Chain, Fleetwood Mac. With its driving rhythm and building intensity, this song represents the bond between you and your siblings as you face challenges together. Running on Empty.
Yes.
Jackson.
Oh, yeah, there it
I was
is.
waiting for that
Yeah,
one.
Running on Empty, Jackson Brown. This track captures the feeling of long journey, both physically and emotionally, and the struggle to keep going. Fortunate Son, Creedence Clearwater Revival. A song about facing adversity, standing up for what's right. It's a great pump-up song when the going gets tough. The Bonding, sibling antics and shared memories. Every road trip has moments of pure fun, inside jokes, and singing at the top of your lungs. These songs are for those moments. Sweet Home Alabama, Leonard Skinner. A classic sing-along that's perfect for a moment of shared joy, even if you're not in Alabama. Life is a Highway, Tom Cochrane or Rascal Flatts. A song about the journey itself and embracing the adventure. It's perfect for a long drive. Don't Stop Believing, Journey. The quintessential anthem of hope. It's a powerful and full song to belt out together when you need a boost. Take Me Home, Country Roads, John Denver. A nostalgic and comforting song that reminds you of home and family no matter where you are. And Hit the Road, Jack by Ray Charles. A playful call and response song that is great for teasing each other and keeping the energy up. And finally, the arrival, triumph, and reflection. At the end of the journey nears, these songs celebrate the accomplishments, the memories made, and the new beginnings that await. Home, Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, a quirky and heartwarming folk song that captures the feeling of finding your home with people you love. The Passenger, Iggy Pop. This song has a feeling of anticipation, the thrill of seeing new places, perfectly suited for the final approach to the destination. End of the Line, The Traveling Wilburys, a song about the end of a journey and the friendships that last a lifetime. It's perfect bittersweet ending to the playlist. And finally, Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac, a song about the individual journeys that come after a shared experience. It's a fitting end as you both look to the future.
Wow, well done.
Yeah,
Excellent.
there were 4 or 5 songs I had in my head for the first road trip, and she had them all on there.
There you go.
That was great.
And you know what I find most surprising? MacArthur Park wasn't on there.
Shocking.
Well, that's why it's a good list.
I thought you were going to say, like, and they never had to contemplate eating the other one at any point.
No, I would have thought MacArthur Park would have been on the playlist.
It never got that harrowing.
And it never did.
So I know this group loves backstory. So Eddie, how were you approached about doing this drive with Lily, and what was your initial reaction?
I'm amenable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, Eddie never said no.
Okay.
The big problem came about when he realized it was Tremaine's wedding.
Yeah.
Because we forgot it was Tremaine.
And I dropped a class along the way too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's significant.
But it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And they have great pictures that will have their own book, just like Paul's got his own book.
Oh, awesome.
There's a bunch of Club Garris pictures taken
Good.
along the trail. Now, Eddie, would you do it again?
If it was longer.
Yeah, if you didn't have to be kind of in such a rush.
Because that was just a lot of driving with not many stops.
Well, you know, Eddie, it was always on my bucket list. You know, I grew up on the Lincoln Highway in Van Wert, Ohio. And it's always been on my bucket list.
You got a van?
It's always been on my bucket list.
You and Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me finish this. It's always been on my bucket list to get a big mobile home, like a big Winnebago,
Ooh.
and go to Times Square in New York City, where the Lincoln Highway starts, and take it all the way across the country to Lincoln Park in San Francisco, where it ends. It either ends in Lincoln Park or Grant Park. I can't remember which, but it ends in San Francisco. So, Eddie, you up? Me and you and a dog named Blue. We'll get a dog and name him Blue.
Wow.
That's a song.
I mean,
Me and you and a dog
could
named
get
Blue.
a dog out of it.
Yeah. You need a dog to bring in the ladies.
Yeah.
Rio's passed away.
Oh, there you go. I wasn't thinking about it like that. Shocking, I know.
I prefer pasta.
Well, you weren't.
Well done, Eddie. As always, you chime in with just the right thing to say.
Eddie steals the show.
Oh, gosh. Well,
You know, what I loved about it was the oldest and the youngest did it together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
And,
lots to like about it.
And there was no violence on the trip.
No violence.
No violence.
Surprising.
And it honored a request of their mother.
Yes.
And the Buick is now being driven in good service of my family out there.
That's right.
And, you know, it'll be something, 50 years from now, they'll be laughing about with their grandkids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
And one of them will say, Mom or Grandma, did your brother really get prostitutes in Cheyenne?
By then, the story will be.
And by then it will be.
Of course he did.
Yes, he did. They were minor prostitutes.
Oh boy.
So that's 2 epic trail adventures Paul's Appalachian
Look
Trail.
at it. Yeah, we've had this.
And then the Oregon Trail.
This good fortune on the podcast to know some trail adventures.
The only way this would have been better is if Peter Coyote would have read it.
You did a fine job, and Lily's words were perfect.
Yeah.
Perfectly captured this moment.
Yep. And Eddie, you got to admit that salmon jerky's great, right?
It's pretty good.
Well,
I still think
just
you
so
ought to.
you know.
People look cross-eyed at you though, and you.
No, you got to find these people and figure out if they'll start sponsoring our podcast.
Just so you know, I've ordered 12 more bags of salmon jerky.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
We need a sponsor.
Salmon jerky people.
Sea Bear.
Sea Bear. Sea Bear. If you're
In
out
Washington.
there, if one of our listeners has a connection to Sea Bear, talk to us.
Get their
Find
salmon,
us.
man. It's great.
Get the
salmon jerky, man.
You could be our sponsor for very cheap.
I could live on salmon jerky the rest of my life.
See, look at that. Look at these testimonials.
People look cross-eyed at you if you offer them some.
Yeah,
Which
people don't think
weird.
of salmon as jerky, but it's really
It
good.
is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah, I gave you
You
some.
gave me some. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And the chowder was great. I ate
Yeah,
it right
the
away.
chowder's really good, ain't it?
See? Sea Bear, we're here.
There you go.
Just waiting for your call.
Yep. And Mondello beer.
Modelo beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty yummy, huh?
Pretty yummy, yeah.
There we go.
So we're coming into Thanksgiving. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. Everybody's got Thanksgiving plans coming up. Then we'll be into Christmas, but I think we're planning on doing another podcast this coming Sunday.
I think that's right. Are we going to do the next movie? Are we going to
not.
do Grand Hotel?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Eddie says no, but the rest of us are on.
Every other movie's been good, so hopefully that continues.
Well,
okay.
And it'll be wonderful because I don't think I've ever seen Grand Hotel.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
But the next movie I haven't seen either. Cavalcade.
I haven't seen. I've seen
That
Grand
has
Hotel.
good ratings, I think, so I might watch that one.
Okay.
Cavalcade.
I've seen Grand Hotel, but I've not seen Cavalcade.
Cavalcade traces 30 years of an upper-class British family's life and their servants, so Sam Braun's going to hate it.
Lots of
I will
commentary.
keep an open mind.
See, the depicting
No, never mind. It has very bad ratings.
Who's in it?
Diana Windward and Clive Brooke. One of Noel Coward's most serious ventures goes to the silver screen in this 1933 Best Picture Oscar winner. It traces 30 years of an upper-class British family's life and their servants, depicting dramatic historical changes from the death of Queen Victoria through World War I and the Jazz Age.
Okay.
So that's that's going to be like Cimmaron.
Maybe it's got some downtown Arby's in it.
but
Downtown Arby's.
then-
I love it.
So we've got Grand Hotel to do, and then Cavalcade. But then the next one is a wonderful movie, and it's a great movie. I've seen it 5 or 6 times.
I know what
It
this
happened
is.
one night
Yeah.
with Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable.
Yeah.
It is
It's a great movie.
a great movie.
Very
My dad
good.
can buy more books and magazines, so it all works
You
out.
got time before.
Well,
it
I
happened
did
one
recently just get some more Hollywood magazines. This one,
night. As it recently being like in the last week since we talked.
yeah, I got them yesterday.
Oh, holy moly! Okay.
I've got some more Marion Davies,
Okay.
and now I'm starting on the Carol Lombard movies, or Carol Lombard photos,
Okay.
movie photos. And my good buddy Steve Shulkers got me an early Christmas present. He went on the internet and he found a book about Marion Davies.
I knew it. I knew Steve would be enabling this
And
new
William-
collection
and William
somehow.
Randolph
I
first.
knew it. Your
And
wingman.
Eddie brought it in for me from the garage today.
I knew it.
And I've got some more coming.
Okay.
And plus a 1937
But this house is big.
mint condition. It's like you just bought it from the newsstand.
Wow.
Mint
Wow.
condition,
Wow.
1937 Life magazine with Carol Lombard on the cover.
Oh, very cool.
He
It is.
was the one bio.
Say what?
You were the one bio.
Bitter.
One bit of one bio.
You were it.
You're right. They're so bitter.
You won. listeners,
stare down.
there was quite a stare down just now between Dan Garris.
No, I don't understand what he means. I'm one bitter. You're trying to say nobody else wanted it?
Something like that.
yes, Dan, that's what he's saying.
Well, then that means I need to
What a
change my
steal.
will.
What a steal.
Again.
Everything
Oh,
goes
boy.
to the Hare Krishnas.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they'll come and get it, Eddie might be okay with that.
Well, it's in one of these magazines I found a contemporary, thing about Grand Hotel.
Oh.
So
okay.
I'll have that dug out for
good.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that, going through there and finding that.
Yeah.
And, it's so interesting. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know who Clark Gable was, and Carol Lombard, and Groucho Marx, and all these people, but they're the ones I kind of grew up with, and
Sure.
my parents grew up with. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
So Eddie, you're telling me you're not going to want your collection of like 600 or 700 movie magazines from the teens, 20s, and 30s? You'd rather have that in Cash American?
I'm opening up a brothel over there.
Oh,
This is
Oh.
gonna be.
And he's like, how does it fit into my business plan?
you just heard how many he's planning on
right.
purchase.
That's right. How does this fit in?
In one of these magazines, there's a 2-page ad of Carol Lombard, and I forget, I read it really quick because I was scanning it to see if there was any contemporary stuff. I forget who the male star is, but it's Carol Lombard and him, and it's when she's getting big. And it's for malted milk from Borden's.
Oh, wow.
And my dad
Mm-hmm.
worked for Borden's for 30 years.
Oh, very cool.
I bet Carol Lombard, God rest her soul, never drank Borden's malted milk.
Well, you never know.
I'll never know.
You never
But
know.
I bet she never once drank an ounce of Borden's malted milk. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these magazines. Yeah.
Good.
Well, there is an episode of The Twilight Zone which I dearly love, and it's almost like a Sunset Boulevard
Oh, nice.
thing, with Norma
Gloria-
Desmond.
Yeah,
I'm ready
Gloria
for my.
Swanson.
The
Yeah.
pictures didn't get.
It's
The pictures
the
got
pictures
small. I
got
didn't.
small.
Yeah.
One
I
of
didn't
the
get small.
best lines
The
ever
pictures.
in a
I'm ready
movie.
for my close-up,
Yeah.
Mr. DeMille. Well, there's a Twilight Zone episode where she's Norma Desmond, and she wants to live and she sits in a room by herself and plays her movie over and over and over again. And her leading male star, is now like an older insurance salesman. He's no longer Hollywood, and he comes back to try to cheer her up, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. And
Oh,
it
wow.
ends with them trying to find her.
Oh.
Because the film is just running nonstop now. Click, 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 click. And she has disappeared with all her 1920s and 30s Hollywood friends into this big picture.
Oh, wow.
I could go that way.
Disappear
With my magazines.
with your magazines.
Yeah.
Well,
Heck yes.
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
There you go. And so with that thought, let us say we'll see you next week. Everybody watch Grand Hotel. And I'm sure on Grand Hotel they will have some great feasts.
I bet they will.
And if they have lobster, we're having lobster.
Okay, I'm not touching it, but you guys.
Oh yeah,
have
you
fun.
can't have shellfish.
I'm
that's
always good with lobster.
right. Yeah. I forget you can't do shellfish.
It's okay. I'll
Okay.
make myself something else
Okie doke.
if that's the case.
Okay. And thank you very much for making the food
You
tonight.
bet.
Catherine
Thank
Ann
you.
did it
Thank
all.
you.
Yeah.
You
Catherine Ann
bet.
did it all. And
Happy
so,
to contribute.
oh, just a minute.
She
So
did it
with
all.
that, I'm going to say, until we meet again, fair winds. Godspeed and fair winds until we meet again.